Hey guys, hey. This is a review on Straw. My take on it. As a 40-year-old mother of a special needs child. Um, this will be somewhat of a spoiler if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it and you are a mother, and if you are a single mother, if you're a mother of a special needs child, I would definitely love for you to comment and chime in. And if you see my points of view or the little nuggets that I found in the movie, it was great. I am a Tyler Perry fan. Um, Lately, his movies within the last, I say, 3 to 4 years, his movies have been hitting home for me and my family. I love that he knows his audience and gives he gives for his audience. Despite of what everybody else thinks of him or says about him, he caters to his audience, and his audience are black women. He has things for single black women, mothers, older black women. He caters to black women. And I will say this, and I hope he gets to see this one day. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I'm manifesting it. And I'm going to try not to get emotional through this. But thank you, Mr. Perry, for this. I watched this twice. The first time I watched it was because I wanted to watch it. The second time I watched it, I wanted to go back and take notes. And I thought that I wasn't going to have the same reaction I had the first time. The second time, well, I had it. I have never in my life watched a movie and my stomach dropped as if I was on a roller coaster. My heart dropped within my stomach because I can relate to some sort. Not the whole thing, but I can relate. So I'm going to give y'all different. See, I got my pen in my hand. I'm going to give y'all the nuggets that I took from it. The first one is, I'm just going to list them. They may not be in a specific order, but I just wrote notes and I jotted them down. But again, I want you to like, share, subscribe if you like this content. I'm going to do more of these because this is what I feel comfortable doing. This falls into my category of marketing and seeing who the writer, the producer, who the movie is talking to, who the audience is. And I just things that be going on in my brain that I want to get out. So here goes. The first bullet point that I have is having a friend that looks out for you. Despite of all you go through being a single parent, even if it's just one friend, and that kind of ties into the theme of the movie in entirety. So I may go back to that and touch on different things. But when you are a single parent and you're holding things down, you're trying to hold things down by yourself, to have a friend who simply picks up the phone and calls you, or sometimes it is a coworker, because we make friends at work too, to look out for you in a way that you didn't expect, to give you $20 for lunch, to ask you how your day is going. That little thing matters. It helps so much. That little thing, because when you're doing this alone, you feel like nobody cares. You feel like nobody sees you. But to have that one person to see you, that is like taking a warm blanket to a cold body. You care. So that's one I have. But again, that was a continuous theme through the movie. I I also have wrote down that every man that she came in contact seemed to be against her, including she brought something up when her and Nicole were in Nicole's office, and Nicole gave her the sweater because it was cold in the bank, and Janiyah seen Nicole's family, the portrait, and she said, "Oh, you guys stay in a nice house in the suburbs and blah blah blah." And I think Nicole brought up she was married, and instantly Janiyah say, "Do he treat you right?" That's a whole different video in itself. To when you are a single parent, and even if you're not, just the thought of it's a thing to be happily married or to be in a happy relationship where you're not being abused in any way, emotionally, physically, spiritually, where you're not being abused by a man. To hear that wow, that's actually a thing, like that can happen, that is like rainbows. That allows a person to have somewhat, again, I'm speaking from a single mama standpoint. I'm not a single mom because someone left, but I'll make a video on that later. I'm a single mom because of another reason. But to know that there is a world where you can have a relationship with a man that is not against you, that is amazing. That's one that I got out of that. And then all the other encounters with her with the men in the movie were terrible, except for the disabled man played by Sinbad in the wheelchair. The guy that, let's start from the beginning, the guy that kept the music up loud in her, that didn't allow, that allowed for her child to wear headphones to sleep. I'm gonna get to that too. The boss, the male boss, that all he was worried about was the which he's supposed to be, because he's a manager. He's not really supposed to be concerned about your family life, but that's another thing. And I have that wrote down too, but I'll get to that. That man, but even he abused her with her check. Like, I mail you your check. You didn't fire me. You have my check on your desk. Give me my check. The police officer that clearly said he was going to find a legal way to get rid of her. The cop, the FBI cop that didn't care, but she had joined a trust, but she ended up trusting Detective Raymond. So every man had basically took advantage of her or their power over her in some kind of way, of a day going messy, itty throughout the day. Another nugget that I have wrote down is this is a good one. Having to explain unusual situations to school admins. Now, this hits home with being a special needs parent. You have to, it can be hard because, first of all, everybody doesn't understand every situation. And this is why I think some people just decide not to put their special needs kids in school, and maybe they homeschool them, because everything that comes along with trying to explain to another individual that's basically there to collect a check. You have some educators that are truly educators, and they are into educating because of the care of the kids, but then you have some that's just that's not going to connect with what's going on. So you have to sit down, explain the if, then, buts, wins, and whys to an educator in hopes that they don't take it the wrong way. I have been in those situations. Believe you me. And I know probably a lot of special needs parents have had to deal with that. That was another nugget I wrote down. Um, it is days, and I had this nugget wrote down. Nothing's going in your favor, and it seems like everything is against you. And I know everybody's probably had some of those days. But as a single parent, when you're trying to make sure that you have a roof over you and your child's head or children, you supply everything they need emotionally, physically, everything, because you're everything for them. And I'm gonna throw in the special needs because they may not be able to do certain things that a typical, in my case, 16-year-old child should be able to do. That's taking more out of you. You got to deal with that, and then you have to deal with whatever life throws at you. Especially, I'm 40. I'm in a year where I'm raising my mama and I'm raising my child. You barely have time for yourself. Um, and I don't want to wish nothing upon myself, but something may happen where the roof may cave in. You got to take care of that. Uh, some bill may get some overdraft may hit your account, or something may come out your account that you wasn't expecting, or it's a one-off that may happen that you didn't expect, and it just keeps on going. When you think you on top of something happens. It keeps going. I have had those days, and I completely understand how you those times you just want to hide under a bed and hope that it all just passes and heals itself. I get that. I totally get that. And that also goes into the next nugget I have wrote down: not having enough money to cover all your expenses. Now, luckily, my child, and I thank God for it. And this is another reason why I decided to share some of my life on YouTube to quit my 9 to 5. My son has Medicaid. My son's Medicaid is better than the benefits at my job. Now, my benefits at my job are great for me because I don't have any underlying health conditions or anything like that. But those medical benefits would not help my child because my child is going to need indefinite physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Um, there's some he's gonna need continuous things. The medication, as she said, is expensive as hell. My son has seizures. My son is on 4 seizure medications, allergy medications, and these are taken twice daily. So I get it. If I did not, if he did not have Medicaid, I don't know. I don't even want to know how much those medications will cost. So I get it. And those babies need those medications. And my goal, and again, I'm manifesting, I hope that one day I am able to afford where I can provide holistic care, because I really, really think there's more beneficial things there than it is with these medications, because there's so many side effects. There are so many side effects. But I digress. Okay. My next bullet point was child with special needs. Those seizures. If you've never seen it before, and that goes into with watching not being able to allow people to care for your children, or really know that the person that you leave your child with, so you can get a breather, shit, so you can go to the goddamn grocery store, knows how and what to do if your child has a seizure. I've had people over my house. I've had people. I've had people over my house and they've seen AJ have a seizure and they go into complete panic mode. And as a parent, logically, and being an emotional person that I am, I do sometimes want to go into panic mode, but that situation will not allow that. So I have to go into survival mode and do what's necessary to calm my child down. Survival mode. That was my next bullet point. And this is where I seen survival mode. When she went in there to get her check, when she came back from being put out, and she went to her boss, former boss at this point, to get her paycheck, and that dude came in and tried to, rob them. And he was trying to take the backpack and put the money in there. And she was like, no, this is my child's seizure medication. Going into survival mode, you fighting a person with a gun in your face to keep your child's medication. That is a parent survival mode, because logically you would think, I'm not finna rumble with this person because they can set it off. No, my brain is on my child. You are not going to take something that my child needs and I'm going to fight for it. Survival mode. He touched on DEI. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I did. Having a woman in a male-dominated field is needed for the exact reason of what she served. Detective Raymond was such a pivotal, important person in this movie because she spoke female. She spoke motherhood. She spoke single motherhood. And I noticed that when she basically said, she told her partner what happened. She snapped. Now, the question I do have is, when did they find out that Jania's daughter had passed away? Like, at what point in the movie did they find that out? That's something he kind of, I guess he leaves to the imagination for the viewer to figure out. But Detective Raymond said that she had been there and done that with her mom. When that landlord was talking about, do you have rent money to go in there? And she told her partner, it ain't even work. You know what? Let's go. She already knew what time it was because she had been in a situation like that when she was younger. She said that she had been in a situation like that when she was younger with her mom. So that I'm like, that's why DE. I know this is a movie, but those situations are why DEI is important. We work, and work is work, and home is home. But a person has to have it's not always about work. Sometimes you need those emotional connections. You need reality. You have to have those personal connections to understand some things. And that's what we lack. That's what this world is lacking. Humanity. Everything is not black and white. And this is a perfect example of a movie that everything is not black and white. And I'm going to skip over the next point, but the reason I say everything is not black and white, Tessa, the bank teller that was cashing her check, she didn't okay, when the old lady was telling her, I wish you shut up. So, and I'm gonna make it personal here, and if y'all ever see this video, I love y'all. I have a set of friends who are parents, and I still have a set of friends who do not have kids. And we have had, and those set of friends who are not parents, they are actually one has been in management before and the other one is in management, I think, at a job. They don't understand the mind of a mother, and they may not they may not have to understand it, but when you where am I going with this? When you have a child, there is, and again, comment if you agree, and I've had this conversation with other people before, that black and white viewpoint, it goes out the window. It's never black and white. There is always a gray area. Now, I'm talking about parenting. I'm talking about motherhood. I'm not talking about anything else right now. I'm talking about parenting and motherhood. There is never a gray area. And I'm going to make all this make sense. When you have a job as a single parent and your job, who is black and white, and your life is black, white, gray, and sometimes purple, pink, blue, and orange, and you have those off-color experiences that doesn't allow you to maybe meet the needs of your job, that can be challenging. Because at that point, you have to pick between your life, and then you have to pick between your job that allows you to have money to pay for your life, whatever level you're on. And this is why I'm also going to YouTube, because that's my life. My life at this point has surpassed the black and white that a job provides, and I need more. And I'm okay with saying that. And if we had, now I've had managers, I want to say the last two managers that I had at two separate companies, the one that I had at the one I work now, he went to another department, and a previous manager I had at a previous job, they understood. There will be situations where I've had to take off because maybe I got a call from my son's school and I had to come pick him up, or I couldn't perform my duties because my son is sick. I've had understanding managers, but not all of them are understanding. And then let's not negate if you on your second or third write-up or whatever the case may be. Thank God I haven't had to deal with a write-up a point process in a long time, but that's not the case for our mothers, and especially single mothers. So having that is hard, because if you have, what I've noticed, if you have a manager who has a family, they are definitely understanding. But it's more so the management who does not have family, who are single, fancy, free, footloose, no responsibility of people outside of their job. They are genuinely the ones who are hard to work with. And I don't know if a bridge could ever be, if there could ever be a bridge with that or whatever, but this is why I'm promoting why I'm promoting YouTube, because I want to get out of that life. My son is about to be, we're going into senior year, and life after high school is going to be different for us rather than a person with a regular 16, 17-year-old. For you guys, you have to, okay, what college is he going to? What's going on? I don't think like that. I'm like, okay, what is this gonna look like? Um, what is it gonna look like? At this point on this date, I don't know what life after high school is gonna look like, and I cannot be attached to a computer 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. That cannot be my life anymore. So again, to go back, having women that understand, who are mothers, and I'm not saying that women who are not mothers can't be managers, that's not what I'm saying. what I'm saying is having women who understand motherhood is very important in the workplace. Very, very important. And I'm about to say Professor Raymond. Her name was Detective. That's what Detective Raymond stood out for me. Sinbad, Tyler Perry again. The representation. Thank you. I don't know that man's situation. I think I heard he had a stroke or something like that. But the representation and him saying she's a good person. I know she wouldn't do that. Things were hard. Every time I asked this lady for some change, she gave it to me. Thank you. Like, literally, thank you. Thank you. And it's another thing. When my mom used to drive, my mom always kept change in her car. Quarters, dimes, whatever. Dollars. My mama always told me, when you see somebody on the corner, you give them some money. No matter what you think their situation, if you think they scamming, if you, whatever you think, because you don't know, one day that may be you. My mama, that has stuck with me all my life. Now, there has been some times where I rolled by some corners and I'm like, bro, really? But if I have some change, I give. Because that's one thing that I was taught that I feel like I'll take with me forever, because you never know what curveball life will throw at you. You never know. Again, thank you for that. Y'all hear me turning my page. The next one. I don't know if anybody caught the name of the bank. The name of the bank was the Benevolent Bank and Trust. Does anybody know what benevolent? Well, I can't even say it. Does anybody know what that means? That means goodwill and kindness, desire to help, charitable and generous, and empathy and compassion. Once Janiyah got in that bank, she was shown all of these by Nicole and Detective Raymond. They saved her and kept her safe because she had created a bond with them and she trusted them and they trusted her, because did you realize how they treated her after she told her story? I also have the old lady. I don't have this wrote down because I guess I had it in my head, but let me tell y'all. And we live in a world now where can't nobody tell nobody nothing. Don't nobody want to hear nothing what nobody say. That old woman, first of all, she was basically quiet until she said that she couldn't stand anymore, and Janiyah came out and brought her a seat. And then she kind of started, she did start paying attention. And she told Tessa, the bank teller, I don't know how you can sit over there and not have a heart for what this woman is going through. What she's doing is wrong. But what she's going through, you have no idea. And her understanding and her compassion and her telling her story, even when she said, baby, you still got it made. You still have more than what I had. We didn't even have air conditioning. You know, her just offering that wisdom. And when she dropped that line and she said, people don't know how expensive it is to be poor, I had to pause the movie and go cry in the bathroom. People don't know how expensive it is to be poor. What I took from that, it is expensive to have bad health. It is expensive to have bad mental health. It is expensive to be put out on the street. It is expensive to be road tickets and have a bad car when you need, and all that leads to is poor mental health, poor vision of the future, poor thought. Like, y'all, it is hard. Being a single mom is it's hard. And I'm gonna make a video later. I feel, and again, this is my uh point of view, and I'm not trying to knock anybody for any decision that they make. We're really living in different times, and it's all about reality and self-expression, and hey, do you. But choosing to be a single parent is a bit much to me. But I'll touch on that later. Anyway, so where was I at? The old lady lending her, I think her name was Miss Isabel, if I'm not mistaken, lending her wisdom. Tyler has always had in every, I don't think in every movie, but in just about majority of his movies and plays, he's always offered that old wisdom. And I feel like we are missing that in the world because we're living in a society where you can't, if you tell a person something based on what you went through, you can't tell me nothing. She don't know. She hating. She mad because she ain't got blah. Don't look at it like that. My mama, I used to hear them old people say, everything you did, I done did and did it better. And I'm 40, I'm not old, but I get it. I look at some of these people online and some of these, and I be like, are y'all doing that for the clout? Or is that really how y'all feel? Or why? Like, don't do that. And then you hear later, years later, that they don't know why they did it. Like, let's start honoring some of these older people's wisdom. Like, this is the wisdom. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta do better than this. Okay. Another nugget that I picked up was when old girl, the other bank teller, I don't think they ever really said her name, but the one that put the phone and started recording Janiyah, and then she went viral. What I took from that is tell your story. Because there's more people out there in your shoes than what you know. Now, I know that Janiyah did not tell her, like, she didn't do that. The bank teller offered that to her. Or did that because she wanted it to be seen. And that's what I'm learning with the YouTube. And that's what I think is our freedom card. And everybody doesn't want to be on camera, and I can understand that because I went through that. I went through maybe not wanting to be on camera, but I got over it. Tell your story. Your story is unique. And even I don't know if you guys have, and I started it, I haven't finished it, but I've been watching her press tour and her going to different podcasts and things. Miss Tina knows kind of said it too. Record a journal. The benefit of YouTube and the internet, we don't have to, you can still write it down if that's your preference, do that. But we have the technology of YouTube, and you can journal and document through YouTube your journey, and that's what I'm doing with me and my son. But share your journey. Share your journey, because there is someone in your shoes. There's someone interested in you, in your story, just for motivation, inspiration. Share your story, because you don't know who is rooting for you. And especially being a single mama, thinking the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You don't have anybody to. Janai said, ain't nobody ever looked out for me. I get it. I get it. But she saw that there was a world of women out there rooting for her. I don't know who has a similar story to her, but there are people out there rooting for you, and people out there in your shoes. That's what I got from the movie. That's another one. The other ones just kind of touch on understanding and trust, sisterhood, um, just women taking the lead. If I really believe that if Detective Raymond was not playing the part that she played in the situation, Janiyah would have not made it. And I think we see that at the end of the movie, because Tyler gives us basically two outcomes, even though Janiyah is mentally going somewhere else, but he shows us two ways things could have went down. And behind that, I also took out, when the world is on your shoulders, sometimes you may feel like, hey, let me out of this. Sometimes, I'm not saying that I've ever felt like this, but I understand somebody who might, because it can be too much. You can literally feel like it can be too much. So, thank you again, Mr. Perry, for this work. If you don't win an Oscar, Emmy, all the things for this, somebody is blind. This was powerful in so many different ways. Again, if you guys have not seen it, please watch it. Netflix, thank you for allowing this to be shown on your platform. This spoke to me in so many different ways. Like I said, I watched it the first night and I cried like a baby. And I said, I gotta watch this again to take notes, thinking that I was gonna be strong enough, because I knew what was gonna happen. Yeah, I cried again. But this was awesome, and I can't wait to some of. I enjoyed some of the other ones too. I'm gonna do a review on that, but again, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely comment. I want to know how many other people, single moms, mothers, special needs parents, this touched. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all good.